Some people are calling it the appeasement summit.
I would say that his performance today will live in infamy as much as the Pearl Harbor attack or Kristallnacht.
The entire history of our country, Americans have never seen a president of the United States support an adversary the way President Trump has supported President Putin.
I sadly beseech President Trump to apologize to the American people for his disgraceful, dangerous, and damaging behavior with Putin in Helsinki.
Wow. Joining me now for a reaction is Victor Davis Hanson, one of the world's leading historians and senior fellow at the Hoover Institution. I believe you're in Hawaii, so aloha, and thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
No, I do appreciate it. Look, you have Democrats on that clip trying to compare something that he said he misspoke about and comparing that to Pearl Harbor, which you're just a few miles from. I mean, how over the top? What's your reaction when you hear that?
I'm a little worried because Donald Trump has expelled Russians from the United States. He's beefed up the sanctions. He's armed the Ukrainians. He's warned Putin in very blunt terms about his behavior in Syria. We've killed Russian mercenaries that attacked a U.S. base. He's upped U.S. oil production that Putin didn't like. He's really jawboning NATO to get tough. He's criticized German dependence, increasing dependence on Russian oil, and yet this is a man that has 7,000 nukes. So when he goes out in a press conference and he knows the questions are going to be how willing are you to insult the man next to you that has 7,000 nukes? It's a lose-lose situation, because if he doesn't insult them, then he's colluding, and if he does insult them, he's blown up the summit. So I don't think we want to get into this spiral escalatory situation where we keep trying to push Putin in a corner, especially after we've seen 8 years of the reset process where we didn't do much about Ukraine or Crimea. We dismantled missile defense in Eastern Europe. We had this sort of tell Vladimir to behave and then I'll get reelected and I'll be flexible. We made fun of Mitt Romney. We cut down oil production. We didn't do much about defense. And so it's surreal that it's almost as either we have to overreact because we didn't do much about Putin, and now we have to push Trump into a corner where we're almost at war with a power that, in terms of economic size, is not comparable to China. China's espionage apparatus makes Putin's look pathetic. So it's getting very dangerous. All this is getting dangerous, Jason, because, I mean, rhetorically, we've exhausted the vocabulary of killing Trump. I mean, we decapitate him, we stab him, we ritually shoot him, we burn him up, we blow him up. We've exhausted suing under the Electoral College. We want to abandon it. We've looked at the emoluments clause. We looked at the 25th Amendment. We boycotted the inauguration. We've introduced articles of impeachment. And now we're in this rhetorical that he's Stalin, that he's Hitler, that he's a traitor. What's the next level? Where does this lead? Yeah. I mean, there's 330 million people out there, and if some people think, well, he's Hitler, I've been told that, then what are you going to do about it? And the next level is violence. He also, I mean, the Democrats also sound, I mean, first of all, they sound very unhinged, but they also sound like they're being hypocritical or hypercritical. President Trump tweeted out a clip of what Hillary Clinton said about Russia when she was Secretary of State back in 2010. Yes. And she told a Russian TV network, let me read this for you. We want very much to have a strong Russia. Okay. We want to have a strong Russia because a strong, competent, prosperous, stable Russia is, we think, in the interests of the world. And now, I didn't hear a single one of those Democrats who are yelling and screaming from a misstatement by the president at a press conference have the same sort of reaction to what Hillary Clinton said, in that she wanted a strong Russia. How did that strike you? Yes. And, well, and beyond that, Barack Obama, as you've played, has already assured the United States that they're incapable of affecting an election. This is the President of the United States. So what's the font of all this? And the font of it is unhappiness over an unexpected loss, perhaps regret that they weren't tougher on Russia on the other side, the other 8 years, but more importantly, to delegitimize a president in lieu of an agenda that might win 51% of the support.
But have you ever seen the Democrats? So, I mean, Democrats have always tried to advocate for, you know, let's have a dialogue. And then when the person in the White House, Donald Trump, is actually negotiating and actually having a dialogue and being a diplomat, they go unhinged. Have you ever seen that?
I don't think it has anything to do with Russia. I think it has everything to do with the election. If it wasn't Russia, it would be another melodrama. Remember that Reset was formed and birthed in reaction that George W. Bush was too harsh, Obama and Hillary Clinton said, in his reactions to the invasion of Alsatia. So they were going to be magnanimous, and that was going to make Russia like us. Instead, they viewed that outreach as weakness to be exploited.